right? Commercial break, guys. All right, we're live. Right? All right, we're going to call this meeting to order on June 24, 7 o'clock. I pledge allegiance. Thank you and welcome. Corinne, can we have a roll call, please?
Bill Lopez. Here. John Kraft.
Here.
Kelly Kierman. Here. James Burge.
Here.
Laura Madigan.
Here. All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is approval of meeting minutes from June 10. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Kelly. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jim. Any comments? All in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the minutes are approved. Next, we have consideration of claims and sewer adjustments. We did have a last-minute addition to those claims and adjustments for, Corinne, would you please specify?
Swimming pool adjustments. So adjustment to their sewer bill for filling a swimming pool. I passed that out. There were 3 of them. I think the total was $200 and some. I don't have it in front of me.
It looked like 224 something. Who's got it? Do you have it down there?
I sent it back.
Oh, you want it?
Oh, there it is. Yeah, with the additional total of $224.92 spread across 3 different swimming pool adjustments. Unless anyone has an objection to including those, I will ask that our motion to approve consideration of claims and sewer adjustments includes this addition.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Kelly. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Don. Do we have any concerns or questions for Corinne on these adjustments? And claims, sorry. All right, hearing none, all in favor of approval, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, claims and adjustments are approved. Next, we have petitions and comments from the floor. If you have come to address the council on anything, feel free to approach the podium. Give us your name and address and your comment, please. Seeing no one approach, we will move on to reports. Clerk Treasurer.
All right, I have quite a bit this evening, so bear with me. First, I wanted to get the council's thoughts on a request I got from a resident to transfer a beach permit sticker. So said resident purchased this is a Porter resident, bought the permit for a car. Obviously, they own that car. It was registered. They met all the requirements to get that beach permit issued. And then they purchased a new car. Now, our transfer or the language that's written in our ordinance doesn't really provide for a transfer in this particular case. So the resident did not use the sticker or did not apply it to their vehicle, and they would like to take that sticker because it's been unused and they already paid for it and transfer it to their new vehicle. So I wanted to get everybody's feedback on that. And what does the council think that we should do procedurally wise as far as transfers in those instances?
What does the ordinance already say, or our policy, what does it already say about buying a new car and transferring?
So they can transfer it if they bought the new car after the date that they purchased the beach permit.
Mm-hmm.
So if they purchased the beach permit for an existing car in March, like say March 10th, and then they bought the car on March 8th with that intent, but for the intent was to have it for the new car, but they didn't have the registration in time. They haven't used this permit that they've paid for, so this person would like to transfer it.
So it was
And I've
because
had
they couldn't get the registration in time.
similar requests also.
Let's see. Other similar, how many have you gotten this year?
3 total.
3. 3. And so they're all sitting with the same, they're just like, I've got a sticker, can I please transfer it?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys say?
I feel it's a valid reason to allow them to transfer. It's not like they're trying to,
I agree.
scam the system or do anything. They just,
Let him transfer.
Yeah, and the spirit of it, the main thing, I guess, would be that that particular sticker, as far as for the police department, is tethered to a specific car, specific license plate, et cetera.
Right.
How do they update their records so that if they happen to come across it, they don't think, see where it doesn't line up?
Right, we have a spreadsheet that we supply to the police department, I believe that dispatch has it, so if they're, patrolling the lot and looking to see if they have stickers, they're calling it, correct me if I'm wrong here, but
You're
they're
correct.
calling dispatch, and dispatch is verifying that, so they have it in their computer system, so it would be a matter of us taking the $10, updating the information, obviously making sure that their car is properly registered and et cetera, and then sending it to dispatch, and they would have the information.
As long as it's a
It doesn't
simple
affect
thing
us.
for you guys, then,
It
yeah,
doesn't
then
affect
I would
us
be
at
good
all
with it.
in that kind of a scenario.
And it's not a transfer to a different person or a different owner or a different address.
Correct. It
And they
be
would pay the
same
$10
owners,
fee.
Still a Porter resident that paid
Yeah.
for the privilege of parking in the lot, and they haven't even used
Yep.
that privilege.
I would say let's do it.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Do we have a consensus? Quick yes or no up and down the line,
Yes.
please?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, can I recommend that we update our ordinance so that we don't have to give special attention to what seems like an obvious yes next time this happens? All right, thanks.
Okay,
We'll work on that in the meantime then, thank you.
thank you. All right, second thing I have is I want to touch base on budget meetings, since we're almost at the end of June. I believe we want to have our first budget meeting July 8th at 6 PM, which would be immediately preceding the council meeting. I don't know,
could you repeat that date and time again? I'm sorry.
July 8th at 6 PM, so Tuesday,
Okay.
July 8th.
All
It's
right.
the second Tuesday of the month. And then after that, I don't know if we want to just plan from that date going forward on availability or pick the dates. I mean, we're open here. So I think the first meeting will be an overview, what the future's gonna look like, where we're at for the first 6 months, and maybe a discussion of what we need to put in our capital plan and updating that, so we can plan for capital expenditures over the next 5 years.
So second Tuesdays, we are all, for the most part, we plan on being in town and available because we have council meetings those evenings anyway. There are no conflicting meetings scheduled at 6 o'clock on those days. If I may suggest that we sort of save the date until the budget is complete and ready to be submitted, that we just plan on being here at 6 o'clock on those Tuesdays until it's complete. Does that work for everybody?
Works for me.
You, sir?
Yeah, it works for me, except we just tentatively said we were gonna have a special meeting in the RDC at 6 o'clock on that meeting, on that day, but
Oh,
it
no.
doesn't, I don't know, we can work around that or something.
On July
Because
8th?
that was part of the conversation.
Well, there's nothing at 5, right?
Yeah, could you do it?
So I'll just have
Earlier,
to talk
or
with
we could
Allison
do it
and tell her that
earlier.
then. It'll be a very short meeting, it's gonna be a special meeting, just to,
Okay, so times to be determined, and we'll publicize
So
in
I would
accordance
say-
with the law? Okay. Okay. All right, next, I am working with our new HR consultant to clean up our salary ordinance, so that will be coming your way. The updates will make it a very comprehensive document and fully compliant. Secondly, I am reaching the final stages of reorganizing and rewriting our employee handbook. So there's been some changes to Indiana's open door law effective July 1st, and the law will now allow us to have executive sessions for discussion of changes to the employee handbooks. So after we're done with our budget meetings, I think we should do some executive sessions to discuss those changes, speak with the department heads, et cetera. So I just want to put that out there. That's coming down the line. I know I've been working on it for too many months, but we're getting there.
Thank you.
Next, tax distributions, we received those last week. So that all came in as expected. We got about 56% of our tax collections for the year. So the remainder will be here in the fall distribution, which will probably be early December. So if anybody has any questions about that, I'm certainly willing to answer. I will spare you the details of all the numbers. Also, our current software company, so for the clerk treasurer's office, we have accounting software, we have payroll software, and we have utility billing software. We also have asset software, but Our software company was acquired by another company based out of Michigan called BSNA Software. We use Voice Systems right now. One of the reasons that Voice cited for being acquired was because BSNA is kind of leaps and bounds ahead of them in terms of offering a more robust software that's also cloud-based. So while they are telling us now that they're still gonna offer their current support and the software for the foreseeable future, I think we all know how those acquisitions go. They're gonna force us at some point to go to the new software or look for something else. So I'm currently shopping around for that software. So I would like to be a little bit more proactive. I already did look at BSNA's offerings and got a quote, and I had like a huge moment of sticker shock. So I'm still looking, but I just want to let you all know that that's coming down the pipeline. I mean, obviously that's software that we absolutely have to have. So, I mean, all those pieces, but I'll keep you up to date on that. Last subject is the town's website. First, I want to remind everybody that we are scheduled to go to townofporter.in.gov on July 1st, or as soon thereafter as is possible. Never know how those switches are going to go, but July 1st is the deadline for that. Our current website provider is Civic Plus, and their platform is called Drupal 7. And they are phasing that out, and it's going to be unsupported, and they want to push us to a different platform. I know, everybody's pushing us to something different. So Mike and I and Tammy did a demo. They kind of walked us through the offerings. We spoke with them. After that meeting, we also reached out to the Indiana Office of Technology to compare, because they also offer government websites at a lower cost. I think that the downfall to Indiana Office of Technology's offerings is that they do not offer a notification system like Civic Plus does. So right now you can go to the website and you can sign up to get automatically notified when we post agendas or minutes, etc. Right? So IoT does not offer that. However, their website is basically half the cost of what we're paying with Civic Plus. Civic Plus would be on a 1-year renewal term. Right now we're looking at October 13th for a renewal date. If we want to go to something different, we have 60 days to provide them that cancellation notice. So we're looking at early August. So we need to make a decision, I think, before then if we want to switch. So Indiana Office of Technology's platform is about $3,000 a year. Right now we're paying upwards of $5,800 for Civic Plus. So I mean, it's a big savings there, but again, downside, not automatic notification system. So we'd have to use something else in lieu of that if we wanted to continue. So I guess we need to decide how much do we value that service, and what could we use as a third-party system or to replace it.
Yes.
One other upside, a big upside to Indiana Office of Technology's websites is they have accessibility built right in. There's a federal law that was enacted, and we have until April 24th of 2027 to be compliant. As a local government, we have to have accessibility on our website and our mobile applications compliant with web content accessibility guidelines. So IoT has that built in. So I can send you some links to the website so you could check it out, but basically you can adjust the font size, you can change the colors, you can, it's
Civic Plus does not have that built in?
They do, but it's through a third-party system, and they want $1,500 the first year and then $3,000 every year after.
So that
it's-
triples the cost
yeah.
of staying with them after next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a bit of money, so.
And add in the translator.
Yes, you can change it to whatever language you want also.
Okay.
So, I
Okay.
mean, it's really functional,
nice.
but.
Do we have any way to tabulate the number of people that subscribe to our notifications?
We did that.
238.
Yeah.
238. So that's us
Unique
plus about 200.
subscribers. Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay.
So, I mean, if we, like I said, replace it with some kind of like constant contact kind of communication tool,
Yes.
just an Outlook, email subscriber list that we're manually sending stuff to. I don't know, but I think cost-wise, my opinion is it makes sense to maybe transfer over to Indiana Office of Technology. for our website, but I don't know if maybe somebody wants to jump on board and have like a little committee and, you know, take the lead on it, decide what we want to do. And, you know, there's different website designs you can choose from, et cetera, but either way. You don't have to make a decision now, I just
We don't
wanna
have to make
say-
a decision
we-
now,
it-
even though I think
gotta
we already
discuss
did. Okay, when we meet to go over budgeting, I think that'll be a good time to dig into the nitty gritty of that decision. But it sounds like a no-brainer,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, and I think timing wise, we could get the new website set up, you know, and then shut the old one off, so
Okay,
if, you know, we don't wait too long to move on it.
so how soon do you want to see a solid answer from us in order to prevent that kind of backlog?
What would you say, Mr. Barry?
Based on the
July
timeline, well,
July 8th is fine with me.
yeah, because if you wait till the end of July, then you're pushing the cancellation time.
Yeah, the window of when we can get.
And to add to, she's downplaying it a little bit, but she put a lot of time into that, and it's a much nicer website with the accessibility items on. It's just the push notifications aren't included. So for 238 people, I don't want to say that's not valuable, but there are other third parties we can look at to do the push notifications, so we'll investigate that too.
There are other third
But
parties.
I really like the website, it's nice. I think it's a much nicer website,
Mhm.
and with the other accessibility items on it, it's pretty impressive how that works. You can click on a drop-down list, and any language you click on, it changes the entire website to that language, so that eliminates the language barrier. And I know there's some people in town that do not speak English that I've dealt with. One gentleman is Polish, he doesn't speak English. That would be really helpful for people like that. The other items are visual impairment, different types of fonts and colors and all. There's a plethora of things to choose from. It's really nice. It's built right into it, so.
Yeah,
No
not
extra
having to pay an
cost.
additional $3,000 a year just to be compliant with federal law is enough for me to say, you know. I mean,
And
if
the
the
other-
rest of the council wants time to deliberate, I'm happy to respect that
The other
request.
odd thing was they seem much more efficient at updating things.
Yeah,
And there were some other items in it that are much simpler to do than what the current website has, as far as adding and subtracting, let's just say board members. So you go to a page, you add all the people on, boom, you're done. On the one we currently have, you have to create a person and then do all this other work, and it's kind of tedious and time-consuming and difficult. So it's a much simpler website, and it looks quite frankly nicer than the other ones.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
When I asked them specifically about the notifications, they were like, well, we don't offer that
Yeah,
yet.
right.
So I think that maybe
Okay.
it will be a feature they add at some point.
Does the council want time to deliberate and revisit this in July, or do you want to vote now?
I think Corinne's done enough already,
I'm ready to vote.
research
Okay.
on this. I'd feel
All right.
comfortable
I'll vote.
saying,
All right, do we have a motion to cancel Civic Plus and transition over to IoT?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Kelly. Do we have a second?
I'll
Second.
second the motion.
Thank you, Bill. All right, any further questions for Corinne? Concerns? All in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you so much.
Okay, just one last thing real quick. I'm gonna just take up the whole meeting today. I just wanna congratulate, Chief Allen on his upcoming retirement. I just wanna say it's been a pleasure getting to know you and working with you for the last year and a half, so thank you for being you, and thank you for putting up with me. And congratulations, Dan, I look forward to working with you. I'm very self-aware, I'm a pain in the butt, so I appreciate your patience. And that's all, I'm done now.
Thank you so much.
If you're paying back, she calls you less.
All right. Attorney Willoughby, do you have anything to report this week?
Nothing to add. Can't follow that up. with anything.
Thank you, sir.
You know.
Police Department Chief Allen.
Well, thank you. And I know I'm a man of many words, but I want to say thank you to the council. This is my last meeting. I've enjoyed my time with the police department for 31 years. Again, it's been fun. And I appreciate the camaraderie that I've had with each and every one of you guys on the council through this last 4 years of being the chief. I appreciate it, and thank you. With Dan going into my spot here very shortly, I have had him shadowing me the last few months. This last 2 weeks, I sort of told him that I'm shadowing him. So with that, I'd like to let him present anything that he has to give tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Should go without saying, but I'd extend my congratulations to Chief Allen also. We had a really good, what I think was a good send-off for him during our appreciation dinner. And on that subject, I have a letter that I put in the packets in front of each of you. And I'll just read through that really quick. It's a request for surplus declaration and transfer of service weapon for Chief Todd Allen. I respectfully request that Chief Todd Allen's service weapon, a Glock 43X, be declared surplus property and transferred to him for $1. This request is submitted in recognition of Chief Todd Allen's honorable and dedicated service spanning more than 30 years with this department. As a token of appreciation for his commitment, professionalism, and long-standing contributions to law enforcement and public safety, it is fitting that he retains his sidearm as a commemorative keepsake, marking his distinguished career. The transfer of the firearm will be facilitated through Warrior Arms of Valparaiso at no cost to the department, and all applicable laws and transfer protocols will be observed. Your approval of this request would be a meaningful gesture of gratitude and respect for Chief Todd Allen's exemplary service.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to declare Chief Allen's service weapon surplus for $1 and allow its transfer to be facilitated through Warrior Arms of Valparaiso?
I make that motion.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Don. Any questions or comments? All in favor of approval, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Granted.
Few more things. There's a service agreement contract that was also in that packet. This has been reviewed by Corinne and Attorney Willoughby. Basically, we stole the good idea that Valparaiso Police Department uses during their Popcorn Fest. They experience kind of the same thing we do, a large influx of visitors to their town. Puts a huge strain on their police services. So they contract officers from outside agencies for a short period of time to just supplement patrol and traffic direction and whatnot. So we're looking at implementing the same exact thing. And basically I'm requesting the council permission to implement this for this 4th of July weekend coming up.
We'll start by asking for a motion to approve the service agreement, and then if we have a second, we will offer opportunity for questions and comments.
Make a motion to approve the service agreement.
Thank you, Bill. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kelly. Does anyone have any questions for Chief in Waiting Dickey on this service agreement?
I think it's a good agreement. I think for what you're given, you're getting a lot. So I think
Absolutely.
it's really beneficial to the town.
I appreciate observing what our neighbors do well and adopting best practice. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions? All in favor of approval, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Agreement granted.
Just a few comments here under notable incidents. I'm sure most people are aware of the critical incident that Chester Police responded to on June 18th. Myself, Sergeant Blythe, and Officer Reynolds also responded that day. Prior to my response, I was in our dispatch center when that happened, and I just want to applaud our dispatchers for the way that they handled themselves and handled that call. I thought it was phenomenal. I like to think that I'm a true professional, but watching them, it was very humbling. Once we got on scene, Sergeant Blythe and Officer Reynolds rendered trauma care to the downed officer, and I made arrangements to transport the wife and child of that downed officer to Christ Advocate in Illinois. And I just want to highlight the cooperation between departments. The cooperation between Chesterton Dispatch and Porter Dispatch, it was phenomenal. So I don't want to, and I can't go into too much more detail than that, but I would just like to highlight that. The next thing was this past weekend was extremely busy. If you heard all the sirens, I think I waved to Chief Craig about 5 times passing my house, heading down to the beach. The hot temperatures brought heavy traffic and a near constant stream of calls for service, to include an unfortunate fatal crash at US 12 near Waverly Road. Moving on to projects and events, the inspection and awards banquet went off really well. We're looking forward to doing it next year. We'd like to thank Brian and Joe at the Parks Department for hosting us and their hospitality. And as far as the station remodel, we are now down to one more room, and that is the interview room is all that's left to be completed. The training room is all finished, so that is all I have.
Thank you, sir.
I have a few things.
Ma'am.
Mike?
Yes, ma'am.
So, I would like to thank Chief in Waiting, Lieutenant Dickey, for giving the community the opportunity to honor and celebrate the police department by hosting the thoughtful and well-organized award ceremony. It was an honor to witness the recognition of hard work, bravery, and dedication of our police officers, dispatchers, volunteers, and support staff. Celebrating the achievements was truly inspiring. Additionally, I appreciate the opportunity to observe the officer vehicle inspection process. It was impressive to see the professionalism and attention to detail your department maintains in ensuring readiness and accountability. Chief Allen. On behalf of the town of Porter, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude for your honorable service to the town of Porter for over 30 years. And your outstanding leadership as police chief. Your dedication to public safety, unwavering commitment to the well-being of our community, steady leadership have made a lasting impact. Under your guidance, the department has not only upheld the highest standards of professionalism, but also built trust and strong relationships throughout the community. As you step into your next chapter, please know that your efforts have left a legacy of integrity, service, and community pride, and we thank you. And finally, I would like to briefly address the critical incident in Chesterton last week that resulted in 1 life lost and a seriously injured Chesterton police officer and a community shaken by gun violence. The town of Porter is deeply grateful for Chesterton Police Department's heroic actions and undoubtedly saved lives of innocent bystanders. Today, we stand in solidarity with our neighbors across the tracks and our partners in public safety by offering our thanks to all of the police officers, dispatchers, firefighters, and EMS responders involved for their highly skilled, coordinated response in the face of danger. As our shared community grieves the violence that took place and continues to heal together, know that you have our utmost respect, support, and most of all, our gratitude. And that is all I have right now.
Fire Department Chief Craig.
Thank you. Wanted to give May stats since I was unable to attend the last meeting. The month of May, we responded to 82 calls, which brought us to 376 calls for the year at the end of May. Average call was 32 minutes. Again, keep in mind that doesn't account our travel time back to the station or putting any equipment back into service. And that was for a total of 73 hours and 59 minutes spent on calls. Our busiest time was of day was afternoons with 39 calls, but with a special note that also 30 calls were during the day shift, with 4 o'clock being our prime time of calls. We've had the most calls come in around the 4 o'clock hour. 6 times during the month we were on more than 1 call at a time. which, I think we did that 6 times, just over the weekend. But, so 7% of the time, we were going from one call to the next call in the month of May. 51 of those incidents, were EMS, 12 of them were a mutual aid standby or cover call. 8 were motor vehicle accidents. We had 3 search for missing persons, and the rest were single calls. Few highlights of the month. Our part-time firefighting staff started at the very end of the month on Tuesday the 27th, so they worked a total of 4 days that month. During that 4 days, they responded to 5 calls with an average response time of 2.4 minutes. And that's probably about a minute longer than what it's really taking them. Those 4 calls had 2 of those were beach calls, which required switching trucks and hooking up trailers. So it kind of extended that. So we're getting trucks out the door much faster during the day when a lot of times it might have just been me. Our firefighter of the month is George Vargas. George is one of our trainee firefighters. He has been spending a tremendous amount of time with the 4 new firefighters that we have that will be starting the academy next month. So we have 4 firefighters that start the academy on I think the first week of July, and George has spent a tremendous amount of time prepping them for the academy to make sure that they are successful. George is such a valuable asset for our department. He's turned out to be a great fireman, and very dedicated to the town and the department. So we appreciate George and congratulate him on his firefighter of the month. We'll move on to kind of this weekend. Oh, I'm sorry, I have a couple other things before I get to that. The InCorp has donated funds that we have allocated that have been donated specifically for life rings for the beach area. We currently have enough money that has been donated specifically for the life rings that we can purchase another one and still have plenty of funds left over for replacement parts or rings if needed. So I would like the permission of the council to purchase one to put on the Dudley Drive right-of-way onto the beach with if the Public Works agrees, them installing it for us.
Does Public Works agree? Thank you. Do we have a motion to purchase and install a life ring for
Just
the?
approve it be installed. We'll purchase it. We don't need that part.
Sorry, to be installed. Sorry, you're right, because you're purchasing it. To be installed at the Dudley Drive right away on the beach.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Don. Do we have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Jim. Any questions for Chief? All in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you so much.
So I'll do a brief recap of our calls. Apologize here. I got a more recent update than what I had when I typed this out today. So I'm gonna kind of bounce back and forth between my phone and my paperwork here. We had a total of 30 calls from Friday to Monday. 5 of those calls were on Friday. 4 of those 5 came in Friday evening and were all back to back with the volunteers spending almost 3 hours responding to calls without being able to go home. One of them being a critical incident call. Saturday was, sorry, my phone timed out. Saturday was a total of 10 calls. Total of 10 calls that we spent over 9 hours on. During that 9 hours of those 10 calls, there was one time our volunteers made it home for less than 15 minutes before they got called back out. So they spent almost a total of over 9 hours responding to emergencies on Saturday, which included some critical incident calls also, including the fatal car accident that was discussed earlier. On Sunday, we responded to an additional, we responded to an additional 7 calls. Those calls were a little more sporadic throughout the day. Out of those calls, 2 were in Dune Acres, 14 were in the town of Porter, 6 were in Westchester Township, 8 were out of out of district, which included a search call, and assist to Liberty or assist to a department for a brush fire, and then the rest were water calls. However, one of those calls did originate in Porter. It was just found in a neighboring agency. So 2 were Chester and 1 was Liberty, and 1 was Michigan City. 3 were Portage, and 1 was Beverly Shores, which is the one that originated in Porter. 2 crashes, 15 EMS calls, 6 dive team requests, 1 smoke alarm, 1 elevator emergency, 3 mutual aid, and 1 search and rescue. 3 during the midnight hours, 10 during the day hours, and 17 during the afternoons. So very busy weekend for our volunteers. Almost all of those were covered by volunteers. Actually, all of them were covered by volunteers. I think our day crew that day ended up with nothing, and then it all started as soon as they went home, of course. But that's how it works sometimes. I did mention that we had the 4 rookies that were going to the academy. I did secure the Department of Homeland Security / EMA cooling trailer for the 4th Fest again this year, so we'll have that there available. As of now, it's projected around 86 degrees, which is a little cooler than it's been, but it's not going to really feel that much cooler that day. So we will have that available for our working personnel and our citizens. Should they be overheated, we'll have a place that can get them nice and cool if needed. The next topic I just wanted to update everybody on is the part-time staffing that we have been doing that started the end of last month. I have to say, it is going much better than I ever anticipated. I know I'm supposed to say it's going good. I wouldn't expect any less, but it is going much better than I anticipated. We're getting trucks out the door much faster on critical incidents and semi-rollovers, major medical calls. We had a truck out the door in less than a minute and a half for somebody in cardiac arrest. Those are numbers that we cannot argue with. But we're not just getting that response that we expected. We knew we would get those great responses. It's what it's doing for our department and our town after that. We're saving money on repairs. I have 2 guys. I kind of joke that they must have a secret or competition between themselves that when they work together, they want to see who can get more done that day. So I'm constantly berated with, hey, we need this, can you go get this from the store, we need this light bulb, hey, I want to do this, how about this? It's all day long when those 2 are there. But just the little things like that. They have spent a lot of time training with those 4 rookies that are going to the academy. They've been a part of that, and a big influence on their preparation for the academy. They have been a big influence on our other trainees that are trying to learn how to drive and operate the trucks. They're spending time with them, showing them pumping and driving and those qualifications, training other topics with them. So it's been extraordinary. And then bringing in, and the thing that benefits me greatly in our department is I'm bringing in guys from 5 or 6 other departments. I'm getting 5 or 6 other ideas and ways people do things, and learning myself on ways to make our department better. So that has been a tremendous asset. All of our equipment is getting checked once a week, and our volunteers have been able to take the summer off and have not be coming to the station an additional night a week to do apparatus and equipment checks, so they get a summer break from additional work, although it doesn't seem like it when you hear the stats. But it's one less thing that they have to do. So just an update on that. That has been going amazing. In my July, hopefully, the first council meeting in July, I'll have a really good representation of what that has done as far as times and call responses. So other than that, we're plugging away. We're ready for another warm weekend. It falls the weekend before the holiday. So, and I would just like to add on the bus, Chief Allen, thank you. I think I've worked with you almost all of your career, and he's always been the smiling face there. I don't think I've ever seen him angry, but I don't have to be inside the police station to him. But been phenomenal. He's been a friend. He's been a pleasure to have on scene, and I really hate seeing you go. I know he'll do fantastic, but I really hate seeing you go. I'm kind of jealous too, but that's another matter. So thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I'm happy that we have 2 RDC members here to hear that report. I trust that you'll bring that back to the rest of your board. Thank RDC so much for helping fund what Jay just described as a huge success. Thank you. Anything else in your report, sir?
I have nothing other
Thank
than
you.
a great big shout out to our volunteers.
Thank you, volunteers.
You cranked
That
it
is
out this
so
weekend.
much work. Thank you. Let's see, now we are on Public Works. Mr. Spanier.
I'd like to continue by thanking Chief Allen for his 30-plus years service and leading the department as chief. I'd also like to congratulate Chief Dickey and warn him that if your start is anything like your predecessors, that look out.
You can't retire in 4 years, so buckle those shoes.
His feet wet.
The only other thing I have is I'd like to ask the people of downtown to remember you gotta put your brush out front. The truck we got now will not fit down the alley, and even if it could, with all the wires in the alley, it can't pick up your brush. So
Okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you. May I request that Town Hall put a notice on our website to remind residents that when they visit the website, one of the first things they see is, by the way, downtown residents, put your brush up front, can't get through the alley. Would that be okay?
Of course.
Thank you, ma'am. Anything else, sir?
That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Park Department, Mr. Begeiski.
I got good news and I got bad news, but that's a good thing, right? Congratulations, chief. Condolences, new chief. Or not. I look forward to working with you, Dan and Todd. It's been a pleasure, so. Don't be a stranger around the park. You can always stop by and chit chat with us anytime you want. So first, last meeting, there was a request to look into some pricing for canine water fountains in the park. I also had sticker shock. So I did a little bit of research, and if you're looking for just a standard, standalone, basic dog fountain that you step on a button and it fills up the bowl, $2,600. High end is $10,900 if you're looking for something that's got a water fountain plus the pet fountain and a bottle filler on it. If we're gonna go forward with something, we would probably do something in the mid-range, which is a bi-level pedestal fountain. So you have ADA access to a fountain, you get the regular stand-up fountain, and then you also have a dog basin with it. And that comes in right around $6,000. So we will be looking into seeing if we can't get that price to come down some, and maybe doing some fundraising for that. So we'll take a look at that. So that's our in the middle news. Next news is big thank you to all of our volunteers, the fire department, public works department for coming out, and the stormwater board and the Chesterton Stormwater Board and the Northwest Indiana Steelheaders for financially backing the fishing derby that took place this past Thursday. We had 40 kids out on Lake Pratt fishing, pulled 55 fish out of that lake, and the largest was a 14.5-inch bass. A girl who couldn't be more than 3.5 feet tall
That's what I heard.
pulled out of the lake. So it was really impressive. Everybody had a good time. I don't think anybody got hooked. So, and we were able to give away a lot of prizes. Everybody had enjoyed lunch, and just want to say thank you again to all the volunteers that came out and helped us out with that. All right, so you can't end on bad news, but I'm gonna put the bad news here in the middle. So our ATV that we've had at the park department, it was, I think, originally purchased for the fire department some 20 years ago. It was handed down to the public works department and sat in a barn there for about 4 or 5 years before it was passed on to the park department. We brought it back to life. We've been using it for the last 5 or 6 years, and the transmission just exploded. I tried to get things working for a couple of days. I took it down to our mechanic, John down at Public Works. He took a look at it, did some pricing. To replace that, those parts we're looking at somewhere around $2,400 to $3,200. and a new ATV off the line is about double that cost. So it didn't make sense for me to pursue that and put money into a 20-year-old piece of equipment. So I was gonna ask the council, I spoke with Corinne briefly on this, about going out for quotes for a new ATV for the park department. We're estimating somewhere in the range of $7,000 to $9,000, which is a lot cheaper than a side-by-side. This wouldn't be, I'm not requesting the money right now, I'm just requesting to go out for quotes for it.
That was gonna be my follow-up question. I, generally speaking, never have a problem getting quotes, but if we don't have the money lined up for it, it's kind of a waste of time.
Okay.
You do have, you have some kind of a plan for finance, for paying for it?
Yes.
Okay.
And no.
All right,
We'd have to move some things around, but yeah.
okay.
Can RDC pay for part of that, because you use it for the trail maintenance, don't you, or is that?
We can't use, I mean, we could use, I suppose, well, no. Can't use RDC funding for maintenance costs.
Oh, right.
I don't.
And not capital purchases?
It's only for a capital purchase.
SBOA would take exception to that for its specific purpose. That's not like buying a swing set, right? Like a fixed asset for the park.
Oh, I
That's
see.
something that's used for operational
Multiple different
purposes,
things.
right? Even though
Yeah.
it's a capital expense, if you will. So, I don't.
Okay. Well, let's begin with whether or not we have a motion to allow Brian to go out for quotes for an ATV.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Bill. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jim. Any further debate? All in favor of approval, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? You can get quotes.
Awesome. I'm hoping they're a little bit less than what the estimates are, but to finish on good news, thank you very much. We did receive a donation from the Chesterton Dunland Kiwanis Club last 2 weeks ago, Friday, maybe, for $1,500 to go towards programming. So things like 4th of July, brick toss, movies in the park, that type of thing. So I just wanted to say thank you to Chesterton Dunland Kiwanis. That is they normally donate each year. That is actually $1,000 more than they have in the past.
Wow,
So
thank you.
they've had a good year and they're being very generous. So we appreciate it.
We do. Is that it, sir?
That's it for now.
Thank you so much. Building Commissioner, Director of Development, Mr. Barry.
Thank you very much. I also would like to thank Todd. I've been here 13 years. It's been a lot of fun working with Todd, so. And also, you know, congratulations to Dan for taking over, but I'm sure we'll be seeing Mr. Allen around, so. But he's been really good to work with. Can't ask for better people at this town, so. Back to this, 9 contractors for approval that have filled all their paperwork out and met all their requirements.
Do we have a motion to approve the, you said 9, right?
9, yep.
9 contractors that have met all their requirements and paid all their fees.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Kelly, and thank you, Don. Any questions for Mr. Barry? All in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you. Item 2, I just want to remind people on July 16th at the Plan Commission meeting at 6:30, we're going to have a presentation of the study that was put together for the Federal Land Access Program grant, which is the trail from Porter Beach to downtown. And just trying to remind everybody about that. And then the last item is a question. So Mr. Craig mentioned another life ring. Do we want to put a QR code sign on it?
Thank you for
purchased
that
one of
follow-up
those.
question.
They're like $30-odd a piece plus shipping. So they're not
Yes,
expensive.
please. Do we have, everybody's aware of this sign that he's talking about, right?
Beach hazard
The
sign.
QR codes with the beach hazard.
All the life rings that are, we have 4, right? Counting the one at National Park, there's 4 of them.
The 5th one down there.
On
4.
Dudley, yeah, so each one has a sign on it, one's got 2 signs, with QR code, you scan it, gives you the beach hazard statement, and we numbered them all per your request for safety purposes, so that if someone calls 911 or whatever, I'm at number 4 or whatever.
Right.
But if we're gonna put one down there, we probably ought to put a QR code sign on it,
Yes, please. Is there a consensus for Mike to order and,
30-something
Yes.
bucks, yeah.
yes,
Okay, cool.
yes, thank you.
Thank you, I'm done.
I had a question, Mike, on
Yep.
that. For the QR codes, does that tie into the National Weather Service or?
Yes, it's a National Weather Service, beach hazards, pops right up.
Have we been able to determine if with all the federal cuts that went on with the Doge stuff and that, and they were cutting
It
positions?
still works.
It
Yeah.
still works?
Oh, yeah, I check it all the
'Cause
time.
they eliminated positions
Yeah.
at the National Weather Service. I just want to make sure we weren't having a QR code that had
It's,
no one
it's the,
responding.
it's the same, same thing Porter County puts out, it just takes you to the same place.
Okay.
So, yeah, it does work.
Good.
Good question.
Good question, thank you. Okay, anything else for Mr. Barry? You're good, all right. We're gonna move on, thank you, sir, to old business, ordinance number 2025-06, recertifying town council districts after the 2020 census. This is up for second reading. Do we have a motion to adopt ordinance number 2025-06?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Bill. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Any deliberations? We were pretty clear 2 weeks ago, and it is included in the minutes that were approved tonight that will be published, that there was no significant population change warranting changing the electoral wards in town. So we are recertifying as opposed to changing. Okay, hearing no other comments, can we have a roll call vote on that, please, Corinne?
Don Kraft,
Aye.
Kelly Kierman,
Aye.
James Burge,
Aye.
Bill Lopez,
Aye.
Laura Madigan.
Yes. All right, that is adopted. Thank you all so much. New business, we've got ordinance number 2025-07, establishing and designating a fund for the Wabash Avenue Tax Increment Financing Allocation Area. This is up for first read. Thank you, Corinne, for providing an explanation, but if you don't mind, for the benefit of the audience, giving it to us again.
Sure. So the Wabash area, allocation area was established back in 2018, I believe. And State Board of Accounts requires us to have different funds for each TIF allocation area. So the expenditures and revenues all go out of that corresponding fund. This fund was never set up for whatever reason. The auditor's office had grouped all the parcels in this Wabash Avenue allocation area with our Porter allocation area. They were able to separate that out. So the TIF revenue now coming in is designated separately. Our spring distribution that we just got last week was the first distribution that we've received with a separate revenue. So
Okay.
I need the fund set up.
You need the fund
for
set
that.
up.
Yes.
Corinne, is it important to you to have this ordinance is up for first reading. Our options tonight are to set it for second reading in 2 weeks, or to unanimously vote to suspend those rules and adopt it tonight. Is it important to you that we do that quickly?
I mean, it would be beneficial if you did. I mean, obviously, the law requires us to have the fund, and I've already had to put it on the books because I had to receipt in the revenue. So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it would be beneficial if you did.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion to suspend the rules.
Thank you, Don. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Bill. Can we have a roll call vote on that, please?
Don Kraft,
Aye.
Kelly Kierman,
Yes.
James Burge,
Aye.
Bill Lopez,
Aye.
Laura Madigan.
Yes. All right. Since those are suspended, thank you all very much. Do we have a motion to adopt ordinance number 2025-07?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Bill. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jim. Any further questions for Corinne on this? If you don't mind, please, one last roll call vote.
Don Kraft,
Aye.
Kelly Kierman,
Yes.
James Burge,
Aye.
Bill Lopez,
Aye.
Laura Madigan.
Yes. Thank you so much. That is adopted. We will move on to resolution number 2025-07, transfer of appropriations within the 2025 budget. I will make the same request, Corinne. Thank you so much for providing a detailed explanation to the council, if you don't mind, for the benefit of the audience.
Sure. The first one in the general fund is, so let me just back up a little bit. Transfers that needed council approval are transfers within the same fund or department, but within or from one major budget classification to another. So if it's personal services, for example, versus supplies and charges, or capital expenditures, et cetera. If it's crossing between those two major budget classifications, it needs council approval. So that's why these are in front of you. We budgeted for election expenses this year. We don't need that money in that appropriation line item. However, our perf is going to be short, so that's what that transfer is for. The second one is in law enforcement continuing education, from miscellaneous services to miscellaneous supplies, and then in park donations from miscellaneous services to miscellaneous supplies. So it's important for us to pay appropriations from the particular budget classification that it should come from. So these are just usual and necessary transfers.
Thank you.
Happy to answer any specific questions if anybody has them.
I appreciate it. Do we have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-07?
So moved.
Thank you, Jim. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Don. Does anyone have any questions for Corinne about this? Concerns? All in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The resolution passes. And then last, we've got resolution number 2025-08, amending health insurance incentive. Last time I'm putting you on the spot, Corinne.
Yes, so we had some resolutions adopted back in 2013 and then amended a couple meetings later, which offered a health insurance incentive to employees if their spouse left the insurance plan and went to another one, or if the employee declined the town's health insurance package altogether. So they would get a pay incentive basically for doing that. So this resolution as written would grandfather in the current employees that are currently eligible for it, but stop it continuing forward.
Thank you. When Corinne first brought this to my attention, one of the concerns is calculating overtime pay. There are a lot of reasons that this program seemed to fit the needs of the council in the town at the time. I went through and pulled up all of the meeting minutes associated with the drafting and passage of that resolution, and it was clear that it was intended to be a short-term offer and to have an expiration date, but then after it was amended, the expiration date was removed, but not there was no mention that it was intentionally removed. So I did agree that it was appropriate to put that expiration date on there as of today, if that's what the council agrees to, just to give you an explanation for why. Do we have a motion to approve resolution 2025-08?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Bill. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jim. Does anybody else have any more questions about this one? Mm-mm. All in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, that one is adopted as well. Thank you all so much. Council comments?
Just real quick, I would also like to thank Chief Allen for his service and congratulate Chief Dickey. Chief Allen, you've done a great job in your term, and I know Chief Dickey will continue to do a great job as our police chief. And also, I'd like to thank all the officers that, were involved in the incident down by the Hilton, and also all of our EMS and first responders that were involved at the accident that was on 12 and Waverly. We have a great staff, and I'm very proud of everyone that was involved with both those incidents. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I just want to, as always, 4th of July is coming up, just shout out to the public to be a little considerate of your neighbors, pets, and people that possibly have PTSD. PTSD, did I get that one?
You got it.
Yeah. With the fireworks coming up, and I appreciate you put that out there, the fireworks ordinance in the town. I posted it on our Facebook page. I'm gonna post it again, so people, at least, hopefully people pay attention to it. That's all on that. Again, I'd like to thank Chief Allen for his 31 years of service and serving as chief. And I congratulate Dan, like you said, hopefully I think you'll do well. Got faith in you.
I'd like to congratulate Chief Dickey as well. That's the one thing I didn't do, but you will succeed.
You know, ditto for me as well, for both. Great years of service, and looking forward to working with Dan for the coming years. And one last thing from Michael, just a quick follow-up on American Water and the fire hydrants. If they come back at all, the painting, getting those painted.
They
and-
were trying to figure out funding, and then they've switched a lot of people around. So I'll have to ask him again, because they keep changing personnel, so I haven't heard anything yet. I'll
Just for-
ask him again.
There's the safety visibility of it, as well as just so they don't keep rusting and
Right,
get more life out of them before we have to replace them.
got it.
All right, thank you. Ditto, congratulations, and thank you both very much. I would like to extend the invitation to participate in our public budget meetings to our employees. So department heads, please let your staff know that they are stakeholders in this conversation and this decision, just as much as our taxpayers are. And I hope that they do not feel shy about showing up and participating in the public meetings about the budget. Anything else? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Adjourn.